Hello again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports and Money. I'm your host, Ben Parker. Before we get into today's topic, Russell Westbrook, I want to thank everybody who looked at our first video. Whether you liked it, whether you didn't, we appreciate you being a part of it and for joining us again on today's show. All right, Russell Westbrook, he of the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're going to talk about some contracts and some extensions that he's got and some options, and then some things that he and his agent Thad Fouché of the Wasserman Media Group may or may not be thinking about over the next few days and maybe even next off season. You know, let me hit the reset button on this. It wasn't too long ago that Russell Westbrook had quite a few questions about him. Coming out of college, he was quite an athlete, quite a scorer. People questioned whether or not he could develop into a star. He did. After that, people began to question, could he share the ball with Kevin Durant and share the floor with another superstar? They did for a while. They were able to make it work. They pushed it all the way into the Western Conference Finals before KD decided to join the Warriors. After that, there were plenty of questions about whether or not Westbrook was able of carrying a team on his back and was capable of really being a well-rounded player and a well-rounded superstar. He put all those questions to bed last year when he averaged a triple-double for the entire season, the last player to do that since Oscar Robertson decades ago, and he parlayed that into an MVP award as well. Now, just last week, Nike announced a brand new 10-year contract extension with Russell Westbrook to be the face of the Jordan brand. He had already been representing the Jordan brand, but this new deal has quite a bit of perks in it. We don't yet know the money side of it. We'll cover that in a second because we have some guesses. But let's cover the 10-year part of it. You know, that's a long time for Nike to be investing in an athlete, but they've become convinced that Russell Westbrook is the man to do that for them. He's going to have an on-court version of shoes. He's going to have an off-court version of shoes. So two separate signature lines for Russell Westbrook, and perhaps even more importantly for Russell Westbrook is the fact that he's going to have creative control over how these shoes look. And for those of you who know Russell Westbrook, you know that he has a tremendous sense of fashion, is involved in the fashion industry. He represents a couple of clothing lines. He has distinctive taste. He has very distinct opinions about how he thinks things ought to look, shoes and otherwise as well. He's got a great taste for these things, and so for him to have creative control over both these shoe lines within the Jordan brand, is really a big deal for him, and something I'm sure that he's excited about. Now, we don't know the money side of it, but it's going to be at least probably $200 million. Could be as high as $500 or $600 million, depending on how much he and his agent were able to negotiate for. Perhaps we'll find out at a later date, but just looking at what other athletes such as James Harden and LeBron James have made with their respective shoe deals, it is safe to say, no matter what the amount is, that it is in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and that Russell Westbrook, even if he didn't make any more money on the court and played for free, will be a very rich man over the next 10 years just on this Nike deal alone with the Jordan brand. So that's a huge feather in his cap, but there's much more. He has a 5-year, $207 million extension on the table right now from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if he were not to sign that extension, he is currently under contract for this upcoming season at $28.5 million. The following season, the 2018-19 season, he has a player option that he could exercise if he wants to for just north of $30 million for that season. Now, that extension has been on the table for weeks now, most of the summer. He hasn't signed it. In fact, Russell Westbrook has gone very quiet about whether or not he intends to sign this extension. There's a bit of a deadline involved here. If by the start of the season he hasn't signed it, that extension, that particular extension, goes away under the CBA rules that they are currently under. That extension would just go away. They would have to renegotiate a new one next year. So if he doesn't sign it by the start of the season, then it's just going to disappear. Now, the Oklahoma City Thunder can offer Russell Westbrook more money than any other team in the NBA can. Again, under the current CBA rules, your current team has the ability to offer you a much significantly higher contract than any other team can offer. However, that may not matter to Russell Westbrook. Based on the Nike deal, he's already going to be making a tremendous amount of money anyway. So, questions: if you're Russell Westbrook, what's important to you? And again, this can be about whatever he wants to be about. If he's comfortable in Oklahoma City, if he likes it there, if he wants to stay there, if he wants to continue to be a part of that franchise, then we could very easily see him signing that 5-year $207. But if he doesn't like it, and him being quiet for so long begs the question, maybe he doesn't like it there, maybe he wants to be somewhere else. Where would he go? Certainly he could go to any team that he wanted to in the NBA. One of the teams that continues to pop up in rumors are the Los Angeles Lakers. Why specifically for Westbrook? Well, he grew up in California. He went to high school in California. He went to college at UCLA. So he's a California guy, and the lure of getting to go back to his home state might be much more important to him than the amount of money he's making. Also, and this is something I think that gets overlooked a lot of times in some of these contract discussions, the Lakers offer something that very few other teams in the NBA or in any league anywhere can offer, and that is brand recognition. Now, if you're Russell Westbrook and you are looking to increase your brand, and he's done it, he has increased his brand like few others in the NBA have. But if you're looking to increase that visibility, if you're looking to increase and build that brand, you might find much better success linking that to the Los Angeles Lakers. You might get much higher visibility, much better coverage than you would in Oklahoma City. So it's certainly something for him to think about, especially if he wants to continue to get into the fashion industry during and after his career, if that's something that continues to be important to him. The mere value dollars of the contract that Oklahoma City can offer may not be anywhere near as important to him as getting to go back to his home state of California and of getting to continue to build and design in the fashion industry, and the money and the brand that he can develop with the Los Angeles Lakers. So you have the Russell Westbrook brand and what he's already got with the Nike brand coming together with Los Angeles. Listen, nobody else can offer that. Maybe the New York Knicks, but I don't really see him heading there. Listen, nobody else can offer that brand visibility that he can get in Los Angeles, so it's a strong pull. Now, if you're an Oklahoma City fan, if you're part of the Oklahoma City front office, you're probably holding your breath right now. Keep in mind, this is the same franchise that let James Harden go a few years ago. It's the same franchise that lost Kevin Durant. So if you were to put together all the talent that the Oklahoma City Thunder have had over the past few years, it would be enough to win an NBA title for sure, easily enough to compete with the Golden State Warriors, especially the pre-Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors. It's a lot of things for Westbrook to think about it, and trust me, he's been thinking about it all summer, and that contract extension is still sitting there. So there's a lot of questions going on for him with that Fouché. It's something we'll keep an eye on as the NBA season starts, whether or not he actually signs it before that season starts, and what all he can do with that. So major thumbs up for Russell Westbrook. He has worked hard. He's been very committed. He's been very dedicated. Unlike some athletes who come through the NBA and they reach a certain point where they're making a ton of money and they're already getting to score a lot of points and be the focal point of the team. You see some of those players get very relaxed, very comfortable in life, and that's fine for them. I'm not gonna tarnish that any, but Russell Westbrook has really put in a ton of work, not only to improve his game, but to improve and invest himself off the court in quite a number of things. We'll keep an eye on that in the future. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, this is Ben Parker, Sports and Money. Have a great day.